What strikes you first is the squalid nature of the women's stories. Their husbands have beaten and abused them, they claim, lied and cheated, cavorted with prostitutes, become addicted to drugs. One weeping wife even accuses her spouse of molesting her infant child. Wearing colorful headscarves and robes, and often clutching handbags stuffed with banknotes to pay the £300 fee for their cases to be decided, this procession of downtrodden women have come before a panel of 3 judges to plead for their miserable marriages to be dissolved. 4 of the 8 petitioners were born overseas, in Ghana, Ethiopia and Pakistan, and 2 speak such poor English that they find it easier to describe their marital woes in Urdu on this rainy Sunday afternoon in the heart of Birmingham. We are not in a divorce court. At least, not one with any standing in the civil law of England and Wales. Convened in a windowless chamber in the city's huge central mosque, decorated with pictures of the holy cities of Mecca and Medina and a rather magnificent Moroccan tea urn, this is one of Britain's secretive sharia law courts. After much negotiation, I have been granted a rare glimpse into its arcane, controversial workings. Such is the protective veil surrounding these religious tribunals or councils, as Islamic jurists prefer to call them, that, as a recent Home Office review conceded, not even the government knows how many operate in this country. One study, by Reading University, put the number at around 30, the think tank Civitas estimates there could be 85. What we do know is that Sharia courts are proliferating across Britain and are held in many towns and cities with sizable Muslim communities. As the government review states, critics regard them as anathema to British values because they keep many Muslims isolated, entrenched and with little social stake in wider British citizenship and life. As I have discovered, these fears are not without justification. Indeed, so many of the country's 2.8 million Muslims are using Sharia courts that they are convened in all manner of places, from mosques to converted houses and shops. So exactly what is Sharia law and how is it dispensed? Among many non-Muslims, any mention of Sharia instills fear and repulsion. An impression has been shaped by stories from countries in the Middle East, Southeast Asia and parts of Africa, where it is meted out in its most draconian form, with women flogged or stoned to death for committing adultery on the scantest of evidence, and petty thieves having their hands amputated. Then there are those sickening Internet videos posted by so-called Islamic State, whose barbarity, lest we need reminding, and corruption of Islamic teaching is utterly repugnant to people of the true Muslim faith. In fact, Sharia is a code covering every aspect of life, from the way people dress, eat and handle financial and property matters, to how they behave towards family and others. Largely derived from the Quran, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad and other ancient Islamic scholars, it dates from between the 7th and 10th centuries. One major criticism is that, while the world has changed since then and civil law has moved with the times, the edicts of Sharia have remained unaltered. Sharia law, as practiced in Britain, does not handle criminal matters. Under the 1996 Arbitration Act, however, Muslim tribunals are empowered to adjudicate on business and financial disputes, leading to fears that this might be the slippery slope towards wider use of Sharia. A decade ago, the then Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, caused an outcry by suggesting that incorporating elements of Sharia into civil law might be unavoidable, given the increasingly diverse makeup of the British population. In recent years, amid mounting concern that many young British Muslims are failing to integrate into mainstream society, the establishment has largely consigned these liberal views to the past. Influential voices in politics, the clergy and human rights fear Sharia is becoming a parallel legal system that furthers social division. They fear it runs counter to a basic principle of our democracy enshrined since Magna Carta, that everyone is equal before the law. In his new book, Reimagining Britain, Justin Welby, the current Archbishop of Canterbury, says Sharia should never become part of the British legal system because it is incompatible with our laws. Disquiet has been expressed, too, by the former government integration czar, Dame Louise Casey, who found evidence that some sharia councils denied women and children human rights by condoning beatings, marital rape and forced marriage. In British sharia courts, 90% of the petitioners are female and almost all cases involve divorce. According to the Home Office, there are many reasons for this.